am Savvy Mike, and this is I Am Savvy Mike TV. And Shannon Sharpe learning a real hard lesson right now, and that is black queens forever and snow bunnies never. Now, if you don't know, Shannon Sharpe is being sued for $50 million. She didn't go for one. She didn't go for two. She went for 50 M's. Now, what's so crazy about this case is that it's being tried, and the main lawyer on the defendant's side is Tony Busby. Now, if that name sounds familiar, that's because Tony Busby just tried to sue Jay-Z. He just tried to sue Diddy, and Jay-Z slapped him upside his head and told him to leave him the fuck alone, and that's what he did. But apparently he has more people he's going after, and Shannon Sharpe being one of them. Now, I did some digging, when I looked at the lawsuit, and from my point of view, this is definitely a shakedown. This is, especially when you find out that the young lady is a OnlyFans model / IG influencer, ergo sex worker. Once you find these things out, you're like, oh, okay, this is what's going on here. And I guess she had got upset because Shannon Sharpe had accidentally went on IG Live and got caught up with Michelle, so she was mad about that. So after that, I guess she tried to extort him because apparently they have like a BDSM type relationship. And so yeah, there's clearly, you'll hear in the response video when we get into Shannon and Stephen A. Smith, because we have Stephen A. Smith addressing this issue with his co-host Shannon Sharpe. Of course, he had to say something because Shannon's going public with it, so he at some point needed to respond to and address the situation as well to show where his sides lie. But regardless of it, from the looks of it, it seems like they had a kink type relationship, because if you read the text messages, that's what it was. It was they were kinks. It wasn't like she was like, tie me down, do all types of extra shit, and it was like, okay. She wanted those things to happen as if she was consenting to those things happening, as long as that paycheck was right. Either way, let's get into Stephen A. Smith addressing and responding to the issue.
Today's a different day because of where I have to get started and where I have to finish. There's only going to be one subject discussed today, and it's where we're getting started. It's involving some news that broke yesterday involving Shannon Sharpe, my colleague at ESPN and my friend. The Hall of Fame tight end was sued on Sunday by a woman proceeding under the name Jane Doe pseudonym. The 13-page civil complaint filed in Nevada alleges that Sharpe committed assault, sexual assault, battery, and sexual battery. The plaintiff alleges Sharpe sexually assaulted her several times at the end of 2024 and the beginning of 2025. The suit also alleges that Shannon engaged in the intentional infliction of emotional distress. It should be noted that the suit was filed by attorney Tony Busby. This is the same attorney that filed a suit against Jay-Z and P. Diddy, alleging they both sexually assaulted a minor, which has since been withdrawn. Jay-Z also has countersued Busby. By the way, the plaintiff in the Sharpe civil suit is not the woman heard in the accidental Instagram live stream incident that made headlines last September of last year. In response to the suit, Shannon and his legal team went to social media yesterday and released a series of allegedly sexually explicit text messages between him and the Jane Doe. In addition to that, they issued the following statement, quote, "This lawsuit, filed by Gabriela Zuniga and orchestrated by her attorney Tony Busby, is a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Mr. Sharpe for millions of dollars. It is filled with lies, distortions, and misrepresentations, and it will not succeed," end quote. Then earlier today, Jane Doe's attorney, Tony Busby, sent TMZ Sports a 1-minute and 36-second clip of an alleged conversation between his client and Shannon. In response to that clip, Shannon Sharpe went back to social media and issued this response. Take a look.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly.
Now, I do want to give context here because Stephen A. didn't play the audio clip that was posted on TMZ and was apparently sent to ESPN as well, which is crazy to me. Clearly, Tony Busby wants to get Shannon Sharpe as canceled as possible to help his case because it's $50 million on the line at the moment. But regardless of it, it was an audio call between Shannon Sharpe and the young lady, and she's basically gaslighting him into saying certain things, and then he goes on to say, next time if you say I'm manipulating again, the next time I see you, I'm gonna choke the shit out of you. And so that was the audio that Stephen A. Smith was referring to. Let's keep listening.
And from the heart, this is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
Well, it's a sad situation. Shannon Sharpe is somebody I work with a couple of days a week. Shannon Sharpe is somebody that I brought to ESPN. Works on First Take, which airs on ESPN every weekday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. He's been with me every Monday and Tuesday. We've been number one for 13 years and counting. But since Shannon has arrived, obviously he's helped the show immensely. And I can't thank him enough for it. We've grown close as friends. I'd like to believe that. I certainly root for him. I know he's been through a lot in life. He's overcome a lot of things. And when he departed from Fox, I was more than happy to bring him on board here. So all I can speak about is what I know based on the reports. And I can speak about ESPN and Disney. To be clear, even though this podcast, this YouTube show is owned and operated by me solely, it doesn't mean that I'm going to be dismissive of ESPN, who employs me in my daytime job on First Take. So I sit here before you today letting you know that they are aware that this is a subject that I was going to broach, because I owe them that courtesy. With that being said, it's important to point out a couple of things. Number one, I was not there. I can provide no eyewitness account. And even though I got love and respect for Shannon Sharpe, and I'm sincerely hopeful and prayerful that he is completely innocent of the allegations that have been levied against him, I can't sit here and speak to his innocence or guilt from a knowledgeable place, because I have nothing to do with this. I haven't seen anything. I don't know anything. I don't even know this person. I know what the reports say. I know the reports, the things that have been reported on a multitude of outlets, from the AP to the New York Post to Forbes to TMZ and everything in between. I mean, I can't even count the number of publications that have talked about it or written about it, networks, etc. It's all over the internet. It's everywhere. And I know that. I'm fully aware of that. This is not a criminal case. So there is no concern about him going to jail. This is a civil case, which means that he can either be found liable or not liable. The accuser in question is seeking $50 million. That was confirmed by Shannon Sharpe on that video today. According to the reports, it's somebody that he met in 2023, who was 19 years old at that particular moment in time. According to some audio that was put out earlier today by Attorney Busby, you hear the accuser, the female, talking to somebody who is alleged to be Shannon Sharpe. We don't know whether that's true or not. And the person in question, again, we don't know whether it's Shannon or not, the words choke, as in I will choke the hell out of you if I saw you. And so because of that, knowing that audio was probably going to come out along with additional tapes, whether they be video or audio is unclear at this particular moment in time, Shannon Sharpe felt compelled to come out in his own defense. How are we to interpret that? Let me be very, very clear about where I'm coming from. I'm a bit torn in terms of his response. On one hand, Tony Busby has sued Jay-Z. He did sue Diddy. He did accuse them, or represented the woman who was accusing them of assault, of sexual assault, and said that she was 13 years of age at the time when talking about Jay-Z and Diddy, and Jay-Z went ballistic and emphatically denied it, wouldn't let it go. The case was dropped, and now he's suing Busby, mentioning words like extortion and other things. So when Shannon Sharpe brought up Mr. Busby in that video that we aired and talked about him being extorted, he brought up Mr. Busby and Mr. Busby's past. And he talked about him, going against African-American men. There's two thoughts there. On one hand, there's the Jay-Z, who obviously should be presumed innocent, not just because you should be presumed innocent until found guilty, but because of the manner in which he fought on his own behalf and has been very aggressive in going after Tony Busby. In the case of P. Diddy, you don't know what to believe. Again, the case against Jay-Z was a civil suit. Diddy was a civil suit. But in Diddy, you don't know what to believe because of all the allegations he's facing. But we can't forget that Tony Busby was also the person that represented at least 24 of the 27 women that accused Deshaun Watson of sexual misconduct along with other allegations. And at least 23 of those cases were settled. So we have an obligation to mention that. So on one hand, going on the offensive to defend himself, I completely understand where Shannon Sharpe is coming from. On the other hand, when his legal team issued out the press release on X yesterday, and they spoke about, they mentioned her name, and they revealed some of those explicit text messages, that was uncomfortable. And I don't know if that's a strategy that would work. One of the hardest things in the world for all of us to do is to just lay low and be quiet. And let our legal team do it. And we don't always know whether or not that's the right thing to do. I know, and I can tell you all that I spoke to Shannon. Not in details, but I spoke to him. And he emphatically proclaims his innocence. According to Mr. Busby, his client emphatically proclaims his guilt. So where does that leave us? I'd love to tell you that I know the answer to that question, but I don't. I am the executive producer of First Take on ESPN. I recruited Shannon. I went and got him and brought him to ESPN. But I'm not the boss. Those are other folks. There are layers to this, and there are certain layers even I am not on. I can tell you, I also spoke to co-chairman of Disney, the boss, Jimmy Pitaro, who made it very, very clear we are taking this matter very seriously, and we are looking into this very, very closely. And once we gather as many facts as we possibly can, we will go from there. And that is all he said. And I can mention his name because I received his permission to say that. I don't know what that means.
Sounds like Shannon might be out the fucking door. Like, all right, let's be honest now. If Disney got rid of Paul Pierce for being on IG Live during his off day with strippers and hoes and blunts, you think they're gonna you think they could just look, even if he's innocent, right? Let's say he's innocent. If a clip gets leaked, he's fucked. Like, this is Disney we're talking about. Now, they might let the storm pass. Like, let it go, let it pass away. But if I know the mouse, like I know the mouse, when it comes down to it, look, this is why you probably should learn to keep your dick in your pants, which is crazy because we're talking about a 50-plus-year-old man right now in Shannon Sharpe. Like, he shouldn't have to be, like, he's usually giving the lessons. Like, he's usually giving the lessons to Chad Ochocinco. He's usually telling the people, hey, you need to move straight out here. Move correct. Business first. And you should have known. Messing with a money-hungry OnlyFans girl, that's not going to go how you think it should go. Even if you just try to, leave. It need to be a hit it and quit it. That's what it needs to be, Shannon. That's what it should have been. It should have just been a hit it, no cameras, intimate moment, out of there. Ghosted, blocked. And then as soon as this bitch start yapping, pull a Future. I don't even know you. Like, as soon as she start yapping, just pull a Future. I don't know this chick. She ain't got nothing on me, but unfortunately, she has phone calls, she has text messages. She basically has enough, I wouldn't even say evidence because this is just, at this point, it's still allegations. I mean, but regardless of it, this is the mouse we're talking about. This is the fucking mouse. And after hearing this, see, I didn't think Shannon was going to lose his job because I was like, oh yeah, he showed up the next day. He was there the next day. I was like, oh, yeah, he's not losing his job. He should be still on First Take or on ESPN doing the damn thing. But once Disney goes, we're taking things very seriously. Like, that was the mouse, the mouse, yeah, oh, we love y'all, oh. But when it comes to that bread, we take these things very, like the mouse turned evil. It ain't Mickey no more. It's something else. It's a demon. Run, nigga, run. Yeah, man. So, but regardless of it, honestly, even if he does lose the ESPN job, I think Shannon Sharpe will be fine. I mean, think about it. Skip Bayless, he got sued, and we don't even know what happened with that. And the storm passed with that. I don't know if they settled that. I don't know what's going on with that case, but he wasn't found guilty of anything. It doesn't sound like he has to pay anything anytime soon. So who knows? And that'll probably just be what happens to Shannon Sharpe. But that's the thing, even Fox Sports. But Fox Sports got rid of Skip Bayless because of the ratings. The ratings were just in the tanker, unfortunately. Unfortunately, Keyshawn Johnson and Paul Pierce can't sell a show. And Rachel Nichols, they're past their time. We only want to see those people when they're sitting across from Stephen A. Smith, not Skip Bayless. That's just the truth of the matter. Anyways, this video is already 20 minutes long. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Do you think Shannon Sharpe will be fired by Disney in the coming weeks? Let me know. And do you think he's innocent? Do you think he's guilty? Let me know. Let's have a discussion. Let's talk about it. Anyways, I am Savvy Mike, and this is I Am Savvy Mike TV. Peace. Hey, and also, before I go, this is very important. This is very fucking important. I want to shout out the hoes hoeing, the tricks tricking, the simps simping, the pimps pimping, and the sluts slutting. Peace.